Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Lisa. I'm Spiritual Coach Lisa Hopp. It is Sunday, February 22nd, 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm recording this in the morning. If you don't listen to this right away, I had to step back from the Olympic hockey games, so I understand if you're a bit delayed too. I wonder what's going on right now. But anyway, Thank you for joining me. If you're new to this podcast, please be sure to check out my website at lisahopp.com. I'm also on Instagram under Spiritual Coach Lisa Hopp. I'm on Facebook under Lisa M. Hopp, Spiritual Coach and Medium. I'm on TikTok under at Lisa M. Hopp. So please find me there. I'm going, of course, here on YouTube as well. If you connect with this podcast today, please like, subscribe, and share. So find me in all these places. I'm starting to put more content down, and I would love your feedback. I would love your suggestions. I hope that you are, you connect to the content that I offer, and I'm here to serve. So I feel very blessed, very humbled for your listening today, for your being here. And as always, to those who have been listening for a while, I've been doing this for years. Thank you. And once again, welcome to all new listeners. Today's topic, healing the part of you that thinks you're asking for too much. Now, I understand this because I was raised in a very traditional background of Catholicism. So I have what perhaps has maybe a little bit of programmed Catholic guilt within me. And so I understand. But I've worked through it and I've worked on it, and I have made tremendous progress. I've got it pretty much wiped out, but it still can be there in a little bit of a bubble. So I'd like to address it with you today. And it comes down to this. Have you ever prayed for something and then immediately felt guilty? Like I have. Have you ever wanted more but felt like it made you selfish? Have you ever minimized your desire because someone else has it worse than you or might need it more? And so that's what we're going to talk about today, because there's infinite in this universe. When you're asking for something, you are not taking from someone else. There's not a limited supply in any way, whether it be love, whether it be abundance in any way, including money. We're taught that. We're taught that even if people hoard, there is still enough to go around. There's still an unlimited supply, but we can't receive it if we don't believe that we deserve it. And many of us were taught humility that quietly turned into self-denial. The meek inherit the earth. People who are spiritual should not charge or should not want to be wealthy. That's materialistic. That's selfish. That's, maybe that person is a con in some way. So these things we are taught. And so somewhere along the way, our natural desires, natural, wants started to feel, unethical or maybe dangerous in some way with a fear of, am I going to get this back in some way in a negative sense? Or am I going to get in trouble in some way again with that traditional religion? So today we're going to heal that part of you that believes wanting more means you're asking for too much. All right. So let's start with that religious conditioning. All right. So I want to break this up for you again and hope that you'll understand that denying yourself is not going to help anybody else. You're only denying you. And you were taught perhaps that holiness or spirituality is aligned with sacrifice, with suffering. We're in a time right now of Lent where we're taught to begin with sacrifice, with giving up something, with fasting. And fasting can be healthy. This is a fasting of, though, let's suffer a little bit. And so these teachings are, as I said, cause us to feel limited or to feel as if there is limited supply. When, if you think about this, if you had more, whatever it may mean for you, will that not mean that you have more to give? And I have to tell you truthfully, that's the truth of what heaven wants. It wants us to know and understand that we're one, that we are like a village with each other. And if you have unlimited supply, then you can help another to have limited supply. And so what I'd like to point out to you today, especially those like me who are religious-based, that it's literally in the Bible. And I'm about to do a video for my series, Scripture for the Soul, that talks about Matthew, and ask and ye shall receive. Ask and it is given. I want to point that out to you, that is a truth. There's also what I'd like to point out for you is that you have a co-creator, a loving creator with you. You have, if you want to see it in a religious sense, a loving father. And if you see it you can also see it as a loving mother. But that higher energy wants for you what you want for yourself. And so it's so important to keep that in mind, that we are taught limitation when there are no scriptures to truly back that up. And so please, when you go there, try to remember that. I am connected to a source of infinite supply. I am grateful. Thank you for what I've desired and asked for. Now, some of you also may be limited by your family patterns. Taught money doesn't grow on trees. You have to work hard for the money. Who do you think you are? I remember when I was very young, it wasn't even a family pattern. It was a coworker. I had started a side business, and I've said this before, if you listen every week, repeated this story. She questioned, like, what are you going to get out of that? Additional money. And it seemed to trigger something in her that I would go towards additional income. But what it did in me is it made me feel I wasn't worthy of having additional income in some way. And so we have to watch what we're exposed to and who we're exposed to, other people's story. And they may be coming from that place, but it doesn't mean that you have to come from that place. But our family has the greatest impact on us because they're getting us when we're first born. Before we can even speak, they're programming into us their beliefs. And here's the thing about beliefs. They're only true if you believe them. What beliefs would you like to be true? Look at your beliefs. Catch your beliefs. There are sometimes whispers, but catch them. And say to yourself, is this what I really want to believe? Is this truth? Or is this just what I believe? And if it's not what you want to believe, reframe it. I am worthy of wealth. I am lovable. I am more than enough. Now also, sometimes what causes us not to ask for what we want is our past disappointments. And so when something doesn't work out for us, we tell ourselves that maybe we shouldn't want so much. Maybe we shouldn't have an expectation. It's self-protection. And so Catch that too. Is it because it didn't work out before and you're afraid it won't work out again? Or you don't, again, believe you're worthy to get it because you didn't get it before? Never give up hope. Never give up faith. Never give up belief. Let's talk about God, Source, Creator again. This energy is so large, so immeasurable, so unconditional, so loving. It's in no way ever intimidated by your desire. It sees your desire as a little pebble. It sees your desire as just a little part, a little drop in a massive ocean. And it only wants for you what you want for yourself. But it cannot give it to you if you refuse to receive it. We ask, and then we go, oh, maybe somebody else deserves it more. So we ask, and then we say no. Do you do that? Do you ask, and then you go, I'll figure it out myself? Maybe I don't deserve it. Maybe I could get a little bit less. Do you say, well, that would be enough. I don't have to have the whole thing. When you deny yourself, you're denying truly what your Creator, Source, God is capable of. You're denying faith in this energy, trust. You're denying that you are loved. And you are loved. So I would like you, if you will, to catch again your thoughts, your feelings, your words, and to understand that you are here to desire. You're not here just to accept whatever is handed to you, and that some are born with a silver spoon and others just have to, work the trenches and have a more difficult life. We are all here to desire. We are all here to understand alignment. Alignment is embodying your life that you want. It's embodying that your prayer is answered yes. Because your prayer is always answered yes, by the way. It always is. But again, we must align with it. We must accept. We must trust that when the divine timing takes forever, that it will physically appear, because what you focus on always physically appears. Always. So what are you focusing on? Are you focusing on lack? Are you focusing on a salary or any income that is week to week? What you focus on keeps cycling back to you. That's why I will always remind myself, thankfully I don't have too much, but I will remind my clients when they're very emotional about a situation or a person, do not put out negative to them. Do not put out the desire for karma or revenge, because you will get it back. It harms you. When you don't forgive inside yourself, you don't have to verbally forgive someone, but when you don't forgive inside yourself, that harms you. You want in your life to come into your life what you truly deserve, what is loving and positive and fulfilling and empowering. So it's so important to let go of what you don't want. To let go of what you were taught, if it was a belief that you know is not a belief you want to have. This is something that you came here to master. You came into this earth to remember who you are. We're talking a lot nowadays in the spiritual teacher realm, manifestation teacher realm, about new identities. Dr. Joe Dispenza, I love him so far. He is showing all good, all transformational. I watch the ego of people, and his ego is, well, it's not an issue, right? And so he speaks about acquiring that new identity, of leaving behind your old identity that had a disease, that had the lack, and embodying a new one that has everything you want, and usually about health, but can also be about abundance, can be about love, can be about anything. But truly, the new identity is truly just a remembering of who you truly are. It's not really new. It's just reemerged. It's reborn. So that's very important to embrace, to embody that who you really are, with all your warts, with all your imperfections. Love that little boy or girl. And then figure out with clarity who you truly are. And then roll from there. Roll from there. And while you're doing that, with command, with certainty, with knowing, then pray. Ask. And then thank you. But really put the thank you first, as you've heard me say before. Thank you for this new venture. Thank you for this new home. Thank you for this embodiment of health. Thank you for my wholeness. Thank you for my worthiness. Thank you for my new relationship. Thank you for my new friends. Thank you for my new source, whatever it may be. Thank you. And then you walk around like you physically have it, even before you see it. We've had great teachers: Neville Goddard, Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay, Jack Canfield, Mike Dooley. So many. And me. So many know this to be truth because we are connected to that source. As I will remind you again today, put your hands on your heart center, either directly on your heart or just on the heart center, right above your breast area. Breathe in and breathe out until you feel that connection, until you feel that lightness. You are then connected to that source. And then you affirm who you are. I am whole. I am abundant. I am strong. Because you are manifesting in that moment and you are not blocked. When we get blocked is when we pray from a state of not enough, of desperation. When it's a bit more chaos, when we have fear, when we feel lack. When we pray from that area, we are not aligned with what we are praying for. So it's so, again, very important to pray from a higher energy. Go to the God energy first, and then pray with gratitude. And if you notice any fear, reframe it. Because heaven wants us fearless. They know and understand that fear is an illusion. It is misalignment. Why would you fear this powerful source not wanting for you what you want for yourself? Because you're not asking for too much. You're not asking for the whole world to give you the whole world. And even if you did, it is all right. Because this wonderful source energy is large enough to give you the world. If you will with me. Right now, as you're listening, if you're not driving, close your eyes. If you are driving, keep your eyes open. But I want you to center within your own mind, picturing something you want, but have felt hesitant to ask for. or aren't sure you can have it because you were taught maybe you shouldn't ask for it. And I want you to notice what pops up in your emotions. Is it guilt? Is it, I'm not worthy enough, I don't deserve? And I want you, after that, to ask yourself, who taught me this? Who taught me that this was too much? Now, it can be a parent, it can be a teacher, it can be a coworker, it can be church. Now, let that knowing be there for you without judgment. But what I want you to do after that is that I want you to imagine that divine, massive love of your Creator, responding to that desire, just unconditionally, just saying you are loved, feeling that love, feeling that deservedness, that worthiness. I want you to let that love penetrate throughout your whole body. And then I want you to say and feel to yourself, it is safe to want. It is safe to receive. It is safe to grow. I am supported. That is true. You are always supported. And it is not selfish to desire. Once again, you are working with a force that can give you whatever you ask for. And most of us are not asking for countries, not asking for anything that does harm. You are not greedy for wanting stability. You are not arrogant for wanting to be a good impact. You are not ungrateful for wanting more joy. Receiving is not theft. It is not stealing. It is not taking away from another. It is participation in serving. It is participation in love. It is participation in being whole. It is participation in being a co-creator. Believe it. Believe in yourself. Believe that it is possible that you are loved. And I want to encourage you today to notice any shame and guilt and unworthiness around what you would ask for. And I'm asking you to trust that your desires are just invitations to participation. What you desire is probably not going to be for you, but will probably eventually help another. And I also want you to stop, if you would, to stop apologizing when you have nothing to apologize for. So many people do that. They apologize over and over again because they don't feel they're enough. You are more than enough just by the fact that you are a creation, that you're here, that you were born. So grow without apology. Desire without apology. Be you without apology. And also remember that love doesn't come with any rationing. Love has plenty of infinite abundance, infinite source. In every way, whether it be health, wealth, relationships. It has no limitations. And lastly, today I ask you, I invite you, and even journal on this if you will. If I believed I wasn't asking for too much, what would I pray for today or tonight? What would you ask for if you believed you weren't asking for too much? And then I want you to note that. Write it down, if you will, type it, or just have a conference with yourself. And I want you to, if you will, believe that you can have it. I want you to trust that it's mine, that it's yours. And then I want you to live your life in that role, knowing it's done, and allowing it to come in its own divine timing. You are worthy. I'm going to keep saying it to you. You are deserving. You are supported. You are cheered on. You are brought comfort when you need it. You are never ever left alone for any moment. Discard the belief system that does not support that, and no longer live in fear, and you will see life transform for you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you all so very much. If you're listening on YouTube and connected with this, please like, subscribe, and share. And any platform, I'm on iHeart, Apple, wherever you find me, Spotify, wherever you find me, if you can do that, please do so. And I just am encouraging you, supporting you, cheering you on. Just like if you are a Christian, our Father in heaven does the same. Thank you again. Many blessings. Until next time.